Welcome to the Business of Dance podcast, where you'll learn what it takes to create your dream professional dance career.
Join us as we dive into the insights and experiences of the world's top dance industry professionals, including dancers, choreographers, agents, casting directors, educators, and other dance industry experts.
We explore a diverse range of topics, from personal development and mental skills to audition techniques, creating meaningful industry connections, social media marketing, seeking out dance agents and casting opportunities, on-the-job etiquette, talent unions, pitching to the media, health, finances, and so much more.
Here is your host, Menina Fortunato.
So I'm really excited about today's guest. She's originally from Venezuela. She's a dancer and choreographer. She's been in the business for decades. She started off with ballet and contemporary, and then she also trained in rhythmic gymnastics for 12 years. And she was actually, for 5 consecutive years, named Venezuela's best gymnast. When she moved to Los Angeles, she has worked with some of the biggest icons on the planet, legendary Paul McCartney, world tour, country icons like Brooks and Dunn, and hip-hop legends like Will Smith and P. Diddy and Snoop Dogg and LL Cool J and Brian McKnight. She's done a ton of TV and movies, anything from Austin Powers, The Cinderella Story. She's done tons of commercials with Will Ferrell and Gain Detergent, AT&T, Pepsi, Fantana. She's done the MTV Movie Awards, Guys' Choice Awards, Image Awards, American Idol, America's Got Talent, Gilmore Girls, Fuller House. And how we met was on a show called Alias, where I was the Jennifer Garner's dance double, and she was one of the dancers, and we were in the same scene. And fun fact, this was exactly 20 years ago, 2005. She was pregnant with someone that you guys might know named Kylie Cantrell, who is famous for being Red in Descendants, Rise of Red. She had a little baby bump, and it was a little secret back then. Years later, I ended up working with her daughter, Kylie. I produced a music video at Universal Studios where she was one of the guest artists, and she went by the name of Hello Kylie at the time. That was 10 years ago. And then fast forward 10 years later, we met up at the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide tour because we were both there to see and support Kylie. So without further ado, Carol Borjas Cantrell, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Yay. So happy to have you. And I'm so glad that we reconnected. What a story. 20 years ago, that little baby bump.
I was 6.5 months pregnant at the time.
You were like just barely baby bump, not even showing it. I mean, you are little petite. You're still little and petite. And little did you know you birthed a superstar, and you're a superstar, but she gets it from mama, guys. I have to tell you.
Oh, yes.
She gets her dance moves from her mama because mama is a professional dancer. Let's talk about you. Let's rewind, the story that I don't even know. Your life started in Venezuela. So how did you get introduced to dance and rhythmic gymnastics? And then how did you end up in LA? Tell us that story.
Yes. Well, it was when I was 4 years old. My mom said, you know what, you need to start doing ballet classes because I was all over the house, always dancing, looking at myself in the mirror. That was something that I don't know. And it's funny because nobody in my family besides me is into arts or dance or anything like that. But for some reason, when I was little, I developed this interest and passion for dancing. And of course, also, growing up in a Latin culture, dancing is something that you do every day with your family. So I started my, let's say, professional training, when I was 4 at this Russian ballet school back in Venezuela. She was very well known. And, that's how my whole, let's say, ballet journey started. And then simultaneously with the ballet, I started doing gymnastics because in the school that I used to go to, they were having this program where, they would bring the hoops, the ribbons and all that. And I just also, for some reason, I just developed such an interest for that. And I started doing that as well simultaneously with the ballet. Well, the gymnastics definitely grew a lot. And from being an activity that we did in school, it became part of the state. So it was getting a little more, more well put together, more professional. And I started competing, at the same time that I was doing my ballet training. Eventually, I decided after 12 years doing ballet and doing the gymnastics, it was very, very demanding because, of course, the ballet was like classes like maybe 3, 4 times a week. The gymnastics was like every day. So I was exhausted, girl. And I was just going to school too full time. So it was like between homework and just ballet, gymnastics. It was a lot. It became a little overwhelming. So I was like, okay, if I need to be good at one thing, I need to dedicate all my time to that. So I decided to, because I've been doing the ballet for so long. So I was like, I decided for the gymnastics because I was thinking with ballet, you do, a lot of shows, recitals at the big theaters back home. But with the gymnastics, I had the opportunity to travel not only inside Venezuela, but we started doing all these international events. So I went all over the place at a very early age, and just traveling this much doing the gymnastics, it gave me a much wider vision of what I wanted to do in life. And thanks to that, I was like, okay, well, at a certain point, I'm not going to be in Venezuela anymore. I want to move. I want to move to the States. And then I got my scholarship coming to the States at Tremaine, which, is one of the biggest dance schools. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's how I started all my dance, journey in LA, because I moved from Venezuela straight to LA because I had a friend that was kind of like in the entertainment business, and I already had kind of like a place to just land. So it was very easy for me, coming from a different country, not speaking the language, because I didn't speak any English when I first arrived in LA. So I was like doing my scholarship and doing some English classes. At the end, I eliminated the English classes because there was a lot of Latin people in those courses. So I was like, everybody spoke Spanish. I'm like, I'm never going to learn if I stay here. So thank God, doing the scholarship at Tremaine, that was where I really learned my English, because there was nobody there that spoke Spanish. I think there was only one girl, and her Spanish was very like broken. Like she was like, not that fluent. So that forced me to really, really start like learning the language besides all the classes that I was taking. So I was like amazed with all the information that I was receiving at such a, young age. And of course, you know how it is. Like after you do your scholarship, immediately Tremaine will bring agencies to the studio, and you get recruited like almost immediately. And that was the case for me, thankfully. And I got recruited by KSA at the time. At the time, there was Kasarian Spencer and Associates.
Yes, yes.
So that was my first agency when I came to LA.
Was Julia McDonald a part of it back then?
Yes. That's so funny that she went from KSA to MSA.
MSA, yeah.
So, but it's funny because when I started with them at Kasarian Spencer and Associates, not long after that, Tim O'Brien, I don't know if you know Tim O'Brien, he opened Clear Talent Group.
Yeah.
So when he said, Carol, I'm going to Clear, I had a really good relationship with him. So I was like, I'm definitely going where you're going. So I moved from KSA to Clear Talent Group, which was an agency that did a lot for me. Oh my God, I have to thank them a lot because I had a lot of bookings through them. And of course, I had JC, my agent that was with Clear at the time. They moved to MSA. And then I'm like, okay, I have to go with you because, with JC, like he would book me directly for jobs, like where I didn't even have to go audition. So that was a big, big thing for me, not having to go through the whole audition process, because we all know how, especially back in the day, because I feel like it's not like that anymore so much.
It's changed.
It's changed so much, so much. So, back then, I wish the kids knew what it was to audition next to 300 dancers for, that one role.
One spot. Yep.
So the fact that an Asian has the trust in you to be like, you're booked for this thing. Like, you don't have to go through that. That was like, wow, this is amazing. So then I switched to MSA, and then he left. And, So I'm like,
now, where do you know?
I am good with Lisa, go-to talent.
Now you're go-to talent. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I think I've tried every agent because I feel like after the pandemic, things changed so much.
Yeah.
And because JC left, that I was left at MSA and I felt, okay, this is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
And
team change. The team.
Yeah. So I do appreciate when agents come up to me and they're like, Carol, we want to work with you. And you feel like the motivation that they're really going to do something for you. And then you're like, okay, well, I've been with MSA for a long time. The people that I was there for, they're no longer there. Let me just go. So I just been with Lisa for the last couple of years. And it was great because my first gig was like at the end of last year and it was Dexter. You know, the new Dexter, the prequel, Dexter Original Sense, when he's like the young version of the original Dexter. So anyway, it's been definitely a journey, I have to say. And the middle of that, having a baby too. So I never
thought about that part. There was a baby in there.
yeah. After all that, yeah. The good thing is, I feel like now I look at some of the girls that were in the scholarship with me, at the time, and there's nobody that is still dancing. There's nobody. I mean, you. You and I.
I've seen you for so long. And
I know.
And I'm not auditioning anymore because now my primary focus is helping these kids with their
and of course.
So I had my time, and don't get me wrong, if there's a direct booking, I'm so there. But the whole 300-person audition all day long, open call, I'm done. No more than
no. And the fact that it's changed so much anyways. I don't know, for the new kids that are watching, it's great that you guys are coming in an era where it's all digital and it's all self-tapes and, it has its benefits. But also, I feel like we're losing that connection that you used to have with the casting directors and all the people involved in the process. And I feel like for me, that was a determination factor in booking gigs, because now casting directors watch tape after tape after tape after tape. How do you connect with those people, So this is a challenge that now the new people have. Because it's definitely not the same. You can't connect the same way that when you're in the same room with everybody, So just keep at it.
I agree. There is definitely something magical that happens when you're in the room and you can feel someone's energy. It's not just about the movement in front of you, but it's just how they are in the room and how they are with other people. You have no idea when you're watching a self-tape of what they're like as a human. Yes, you see their work. Okay, you're great, you're talented, but what do you like in the room? What do you like with other people? How am I going to?
What if it is working with you? So that's a lot of surprises.
Are you punctual? Are you kind? I have no idea.
Exactly.
And that in-person audition is where you get to show those qualities. So, and then there's a skill these kids are not learning is that in-person audition, the fight that has to go on when you're in those rooms. I guess convention would be the closest thing to that, where you're in a room, you're packed, it's hard to see, you're trying to, get noticed, and you go into small groups and you got one take.
But at the same time, being respectful to your mates, they're there in the room and,
So there's pros and cons to both. I mean, now you don't have to spend a whole day at an audition or 2 days like we used to do. Now, it's just maybe a couple hours that you prepare for a self-tape, you record and you're done. But anyways, well, I'd like to rewind a little bit. So you had a friend and you had a connection to move out to LA, but you came from another country. So what was your whole visa situation? Because we've got a few international dancers here that might want to move to the US one day. And it's not as easy as pack your bags, stay on a friend's couch and you can work. How did you?
Unfortunately, that's another thing that has changed a lot. When I first came, that friend, it was a guy that I met back home that was also in the entertainment business. And we had a great connection. We're both young. He was a model, actor. So he's like, you should come, and try it here and this. You have a place to stay and this and that. So that was my open invitation to come to the States. And not only, I was very fortunate because, like I said, he was already in the business and he was from here. At the time, he lived in Florida. But when it was time for me to come, he was like, you know what? Never mind. Don't get your ticket to Florida. Buy it to LA, because he's already done in Florida what he could. So now he wanted to expand a little bit his acting career. And he knew that he had to come to LA. So it was very easy for me because I just came with someone that was already in the industry and was already kind of like had some knowledge in the whole thing. So when I came, everything was basically laid out for me. Of course, I have to work hard because I have to take all my classes, acting classes, dance classes, all that requires to be competitive in this business. So eventually we ended up getting married.
Ah, okay.
So
you became legal.
And that's how yeah, exactly. I got my papers. So we had a very nice relationship, but eventually we kind of, went separate ways. We wanted different things. He was a little older than me. So I was like, but whatever. I have nothing bad,
Well, that's a huge obstacle for many dancers because
yes. And it's not like it used to be because now a lot of people are here. I even met people kind of like contemporary to my age that did the same thing, that they came and married people. But now with everything that's happening, this world's just so crazy that now it's not like it used to be. So it's not that easy to just be married and then get your papers. So be careful out there. Don't get into situations that are going to be, you're going to regret later. So yeah.
No, I did it the hard way. I got the O1 visa and had to get the petitioner and all the documents. And I had the visa for 3 years because I'm from Canada. And then I got the green card. And then I got the citizenship. And I ended up marrying an American anyways, but I didn't need him to be.
No, and it was a long process. I remember I was already had my green card, but I had my Venezuelan passport. And I remember doing this show in Japan. I was living in Japan for 6 months. And while I was in Japan, I got my interview for my citizenship.
Oh, and you've been gone.
So I was gone. So I had to fly from Japan on a weekend while I was not doing the show to come for my interview. And then because that's something you can't miss, So I asked for permission from the production company and they're like, yeah, that's fine. So that whole weekend I spent on a flight because, it's 11 hours from Tokyo to LA. So I flew. I got here in the morning, went to my interview. That same night, I was on a flight back to Japan for another 11. It was like crazy, but, you have to do what you have to do. And,
Well, now you're an American. So now
yes, I've been citizen since 2004. So I had my citizenship
I met you. Okay.
Yeah.
And when did you actually come to LA? Because Tremaine wasn't around. They closed down years ago.
I came in
90 something?
90, mid-90s, 94, 95. That's when I came here.
Okay. So LA has been home for 30 years.
I lived here 30 years. Like I lived here longer than I lived in my country, So this is more my home to me. They will be going back home.
Yeah.
So that's for sure.
There and you still go visit there or you?
Oh, yeah. I haven't in 10 years because the situation right now is a little crazy with the government. Even though we're in the process of getting rid of that whole craziness that's happened after 25 years. So we're like finger crossed that things are going to get much better. Okay. So, but yeah. But I love where I come from and I'm proud, to say I'm from Venezuela. But the rewards that I've gotten being in the States doesn't compare to anything. Like I always say, if I were to die tomorrow, I'm completely satisfied with everything that this country has offered me. I'm so grateful for everything who would have thought that this little girl from a third world country came and was the only Latin girl in the Paul McCartney tour that we all know how much of a legend this person is. I have no words. I'm so happy with everything that I've been able to accomplish here. And now seeing that in my daughters,
Yeah, and your legacy continues.
And that's what I have. I'm so proud of leaving. I know that I did something good along the way,
Clearly, yes, your accomplishments are amazing, but there's nothing like being a mom. And
I know.
And then you got a beautiful, talented, kind, and successful. Like clearly, you did something right. You're there, so you did a good job on that one. I understand the moving to the U.S. part. I understand the world of opportunity because that's the thing. A lot of dancers here They want to be on tours like you. They want to be on TV, and LA is the place to be for that. So that's where you have to be. And your country is beautiful too. I visited it once. I was on tour with Luis Miguel. We went to
nice.
Caracas and Maracaibo.
That's where I'm from, Maracaibo.
I don't remember which stadium. I'd have to look it up, but we were in 2 big stadiums in both of those cities.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
Very
amazing, Luis Miguel. I mean, he's Mexican, but he's huge.
He's huge in Latin America. I didn't even know who he was when I auditioned.
It's so funny because I never had the opportunity. Well, yes, I did. And to be with a lot of like Latin celebrities, because since I came here, for some reason, I was forced to be more in the,
Anglophone.
English. Yeah. But man, with Lou Bega, when I was on tour with him, we went to South America and we were supposed to do a show in Venezuela, which I was completely excited about. But at the last minute, it got canceled. So I was so mad because, oh my God, that would have been like amazing for me to be able to perform at my home, but it's okay.
I feel your pain. I've been on several tours and I've never performed in my home stadium.
That is so crazy. And I've performed in Canada so many times too.
Never performed in Vancouver in my home stadium. I've done all
my God
stadiums, but never my own home. So
I was just there at the beginning of the year.
Oh, in Vancouver. Oh, that was Kylie?
Because Kylie just shot the Descendants 5. It's already been shot and they did it in Vancouver.
See, I wish I would have connected you sooner. And we connected. You were in my home turf. All right. So you mentioned a bunch of tours and that you've done several tours. Can you tell us which tours have you done? And do you have a favorite and why?
Okay. Yeah, definitely Paul McCartney. That was amazing just because of who he is. You know, I have to say. It was a little challenging, I have to say, because Paul McCartney is vegetarian.
Oh, and you like meat?
And I like meat. So the catering was the same people. They traveled with us everywhere we went.
Give options? They didn't give?
Everything was vegetarian. Paul McCartney, he's a beautiful soul, but he's huge on animal rights and cruelty and that. So we couldn't have any meat. Oh, wow. And also, you couldn't wear any leather jackets, nothing.
Okay.
They're like, you are not allowed to show up to the venue or anywhere where Paul is,
So don't go to Argentina because it's all about the leather and the stuff.
Right. But with Paul McCartney, we were here in the U.S. Then we, my tour with Lou Bega, which was the guy that sings Mambo No. 5. A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit. So I was one of his dancers. So we were touring here in the States for 3 months. He was opening for Cher.
Okay.
And then we detached from Cher and he was the headline for South America. And then to me, that has been the most fun trip. I mean, like I said, Paul McCartney was like a wow factor because of who he is.
Yeah.
But the most fun, definitely Lou Bega, because it was very free. Like I said, we traveled a lot to South America. We even went to India with him because, everybody knew that song. We're still dancing to that Mambo No. 5 song.
Mambo No. 5, kids, just curious, because it's an older song. You guys probably won't even know.
Yeah, that song is 20 years old. It just had more. I think it just had the 25th anniversary, that song, or something, 20 or 25, something around there. So, that was a lot of fun because the music for the tour was very, energetic. And we had our musicians, the live band going with us everywhere. So it was a lot of fun for sure.
That's amazing.
I was also on tour with Brian McKnight.
Yeah.
It's, a little more kind of mature crowd or, and not to mention it was all hip hop, and hip hop has never been, I have to say, hip hop has never been my specialty.
Well, you must have faked it. Well,
I did. I did the whole time. I have to say I did. But with Lou Bega was all like Latin stuff. So that was a lot of fun. With Paul McCartney, we weren't really dancing during the show. It was a pre-show that he created the music, the whole theme of the number, because we were supposed to be people from the 18th, 19th century. So we have all the costumes. I was the Spanish girl. So I had this headpiece and the flamenco. Like those dresses were super expensive and super heavy. Like it was like amazing. And then we would come prior to him coming on stage. We were coming from the audience, which was great, because people were just sitting there and all of a sudden everything went pitch black. And we started coming from all the entrances at the venue, all the way down to, we will make it to the main floor. And then we will go up on stage. And that will be kind of like the closing part of the whole act. But it was kind of fun because, usually when you tour and you perform, you're on stage. So people are very far away from you. But with this tour, we had the opportunity to feel people's energy because we're going down the steps where people are sitting. So it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. And of course, he came up with that whole idea. And you want to know what the funny part all of this is? Like how small this world is? The director for my Paul McCartney tour is the same director that Kylie has for the Descendants and Zombies.
Wow.
So it's the same person. It's Amy. I can't remember her last name. When Kylie met Amy for, when they were doing the pre-production for the tour, Amy was like, man, I feel like I know you because everybody says that Kylie and I look so much alike. And she was like, I feel like I know you. Where do I know you from? So that was Amy telling me the story later when I came to rehearsals because she was like, she didn't connect it. She didn't know. And then she went into Kylie's Instagram and then she saw Carol and she's, oh my God. So when I came to the rehearsal for the first time and I saw Amy, it was such a crazy feeling to have my daughter now working with the same director that I worked with years ago. So just to show you how
a full circle moment. That's so wild.
Yeah.
Now that your daughter is on tour, what did you give her any words of advice or now that, because clearly you know the business side, she's now emerging into her own artistry. Tour life is an experience. We both know. And was there any words of advice that you gave her, any wisdom that you passed on or maybe that you haven't, that you wish that you would like to say or share?
Well, for me, I told Kylie, tour is one of the most fun gigs you can ever have. At least that was my experience because I did it so many times and I saw the common denominator. It was a lot of fun being on the tour bus. The venue you're working and everything is chaotic and all that. But once you get into the tour bus and you get to relax and kind of reminiscing and what happened during the show with all your friends that you're touring with, to me, that's just priceless. And I told Kylie, just take it all in. Take it all in because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. She's exhausted. I talked to her this morning and she's like, I'm ready to go home. It's been 40 shows so far. She has 3 left. It was 43 total. So she's done 40 shows. And I feel like they're working those kids a lot. They're doing 3 shows, consecutive shows, and then they have 1 day off. And then 3 shows. And sometimes the day off becomes a traveling day too. So it's not a full day. Yeah. So, I told her it's going to be you're going to feel like you don't know where you are because everything starts blending. What city are we in today?
That's how I felt. I didn't even know where I was half the time. I'm like, what's the
exactly.
What's the name
exactly. And at least when I was on tour, I didn't have to speak. So I was safe. But I tell Kylie, you got to make sure that you know exactly what city you're in before you get on the mic and say, hello, LA, because there's big mistakes there, and that's awful for your audience.
It's a big no-no.
No, it's a big no-no. So I just told her, enjoy the best you can, take it all in. This opportunity is good to have when you're young because me as a mom, I have to be in the bus with her a few times because her dad and I would take turns. He goes and he's been there most of the time, but I had to go too. And for me, it's not fun anymore sleeping in those bunks. And no. Oh my God, that driver was just crazy, super fast.
so well with a moving bus. And the moment the bus stopped, that's when I would wake up and I'd be like, oh, we must be here.
Yeah, that
I used to sleep so well.
I had that experience when I was on tour, but now at my age, I feel like I'm so used to sleeping on my bed that that's all I want. So it was rough. I was like in there. Oh my God, when are we going to get there? Because I could not sleep, It's 5 a.m. and then you get to the city and then you go check in the hotel, go back to sleep. So it's exhausting. It's very exhausting. So I did it. I'm done. You young people, go do it. You have to experience that if you have the opportunity because it's the best. But I'm good. Just
be in the background.
flying. I'll meet you there.
I'll meet you at the next destination. Now, are they done, or are they going to do another leg, or is it?
Do you know what? They're talking about next year continuing.
Okay, because they only did a U.S. tour, right? It was just a U.S. tour?
Yeah, this was just a U.S. tour. But I heard that they want to go overseas. There might be some changes in the cast because the new Descendant movie is going to come out in the summer.
With new characters.
So you won't see, I don't know if I'm supposed to. Yeah, because it's already been out. You won't see Dara Renee, which is the girl that plays the... What's my name? She's the one that sings. And Josh, Captain Hook, he's not longer in the new. It's only Kylie and Malia,
that are in the
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have some new characters, but they're a lot of fun. So I think it's going to be a good change to have these new characters show up.
And she's obviously still Red in her character.
Yes, yeah. I had the opportunity, like I said, at the beginning of the year, I was in Vancouver during some of the filming sessions, and they have, like I said, Red and Chloe are the same, and they have some new characters. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, amazing. Well, I know I could chit chat with you all day long and reminisce and all the things, but we've got some mentees that I'm sure have eager to ask questions.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lola Nums. I'm 11 years old and I'm from Chicago. And my mom owns a dance studio. She also teaches, and I'm a singer and an actor, and I have songs on Spotify, and my family actually has a TV show out right now. And I'm just 12, and I got signed with MSA, and I'm right on the move. And my question is, I just don't know what step to do next. I just want to be just like Kylie.
Oh, any advice on raising a superstar?
Well, we started with Kylie when she was so young. We were doing her YouTube channel, and these were things that we created on our own. At that time, Kylie didn't have an agent yet, didn't have a manager. It was all between her dad and I, So, especially now with social media. And when Kylie was little, it wasn't as big as it is now. She had her YouTube channel that was growing organically and all that. But we just tried to do everything we could to put her out there, and especially making tons of reference to Disney. And eventually Disney, we caught their attention. I think what made it for Kylie was when she did that Target campaign. She did a Target campaign. It was during the holidays. Kylie at the time was probably 10 years old. Something like that, 9 or 10. And she booked this big commercial. And from there was when Disney gave her a call, and we got a manager. And it was between Disney and Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon also wanted to offer Kylie a holding deal, meaning that a holding deal is when a network wants you, they don't know what to do with you just yet, but they want to keep you. So they will offer you a contract with some money in it to just sit there and wait for them to have let's say, the perfect role for her. But of course, we were like, no, we're not going to take that, because we were hoping for Disney. That's what we were really hoping for. And then eventually Kylie got their attention with the Target commercial. So she started having this little kind of supporting roles and guest role in Raven's Home and Bizarre Bark and all these shows where she had, some intervention, but nothing huge. It wasn't until Gabby Duran that she got her lead role. My advice is, yes, you have an agency and the agency works to a certain extent. I would find a manager because I feel like with a manager, they have, first of all, I think more access to different situations, not just like the regular roles that everybody goes to. And there is a more personal attention. With an agency, you're in there in a pool of how many people? Tons.
Hundreds.
Hundreds and hundreds. So you don't know if the attention that you're getting is the right attention. So I would definitely recommend getting a manager because manager will work for you in a more one-on-one type of situation. So, and just being out there, putting as much, if you're a singer, put as much music as you can and put yourself out there. Right now, there's many people that are out there, they don't even have record deals. They are out just because of social media. So you got to be out there, make a presence, make yourself notice on all these platforms. So that would be my recommendation. Get a manager and do as much music and put yourself out there as much as you can.
Now with Kylie, did you have a manager that was more musically inclined or more acting inclined, or they kind of
at the beginning, because Kylie started with her dancing.
Yeah.
But her passion has always been music. But because dancing was the first thing she did, of course, she would be singing at home, like little, things and stuff. But the dancing was what she started with, like all the discipline in the right way. She went from studio, she started at Creation Station, and then she went to The Rage. There was one of the,
Rage too.
Yeah. So like The Rage that lady, she's something else. But I have to thank, the whole dynamics that she had going on with those kids because those kids were amazing.
Yeah, they pump out some really strong kids.
Yes.
Miss Nita and Miss Tiffany.
Yes. So that's when Kylie started with all the competitions and all the, Vegas trips and oh my God, the hairstyles, the costumes, oh my God, I can't even tell you how exhausting that was. But eventually, she having her dad as a music producer, that helped the music side of things because, of course, his dad has been in the music business for so long. Just like I've been in the dance business for so long, it was the same thing with her dad. So she had really great support and amazing tools to do both, So, yeah, like I said, my recommendation is try to get a manager and for sure, put yourself out there as much as you can.
What she's doing, her and her family have a reality show called That Girl Lola. She's got her songs on Spotify. She's got her
amazing
socials, and she just did our event last month. And from the event, got signed to MSA, which was her dream agent.
And now you don't even need to live in LA because all the auditions are sub-taped. So I'm sure if you book something, you fly to LA and you can still be where you are.
Yep, they do that already. I was like, Kelly, I need you in LA, like next week. Okay, done.
Exactly.
No, I make jokes with them all the time. Months ago, I said, you remind me so much of a little Kylie. She sings, she dances, she acts, she's big personality, but she's a little girl. And it's kind of cool that you guys get to meet because I know both of you. So I know where Kylie was at 10 years old and Lola is now kind of in that similar stage. So who knows? The next big star might be you, my dear.
Yeah, good luck.
All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Next up, we have Serena.
Hi, my name is Serena Wright. I'm 18 years old. And my question for you today takes us a little back in time. You were in the entertainment industry and Kylie is now. And I was just curious if there was any advice you gave her as like a young child that you think might have stuck with her as she's getting older.
Yes, well, I have to say, how hard this business is and how competitive it is. So Kylie, many, many times when she was little and she started auditioning, she didn't understand the process of you're not going to book every job that you audition for. So that's one thing that I can say enough to people. Don't get discouraged because you're not booking every job that you're auditioning for. Because as I've said, every job has a profile that they want to follow. So sometimes people get discouraged. Maybe I'm not good enough. And don't ever think that way. Don't ever take it personal, first of all, ever. Not every job is for you. But don't get discouraged. And Kylie, when she was little, when she started auditioning, having like dialogue and scripts for commercials and different things, she would always, even for like TV shows for Disney stuff, sometimes she would come home thinking, I killed this audition, so I'm sure I'm going to be hearing from these people soon. And then nothing happened. And then, she would just cry and be so disappointed. And, it broke my heart to see her like that, because it's one thing that you, as an adult, you go through the booking process and sometimes you don't book it. And at this point, you have so much experience that you don't let that get to you. But to see your daughter, being little and so vulnerable and being like, oh my God, I prepare myself. So I worked so hard for this. And, I had my line so perfect and this and that, and I didn't book it, and she'd be crying. So it was so, so hard. But at the same time, this is only making you stronger. It only teaches you that no matter what, discipline and your persistent and being consistent with things is what's going to take you to where you need to be. So those are the key factors in making it in this business. You can't give up so easy just because you don't book every single job that you go for. Understand there's, like I said, this is a very competitive business. But also you got to prepare yourself. So when the opportunity comes, you're there and you give your best. And if you book it, it's because it was for you. And if not, there's another chance. So that to me is one of the most important things, because a lot of people give up very easily just because they don't book every single job they go for.
Got to have thick skin and have resilience, and you're going to fall and you're going to get back up and you're going to do it again and again and again.
And if you're consistent enough, trust me, you will get the job.
Eventually it'll happen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Serena. Great.
Thank you so much.
All right. Next up, we have Allie.
Hi, I'm Alessandra Fox, and I'm 12 years old. And this is my younger sister, Livy Anna Fox, and we're from Scottsdale, Arizona. I know you had an amazing career so far. So my question for you is, did you have a dream job as a young girl?
Well, it's funny because when I was back home in my country, I always danced, and I was really good at what I was doing because I loved it so much, especially with the gymnastics. I had a lot of accomplishments and, but one thing I never suspected that I was going to do is just, first of all, be in Hollywood working with these amazing and huge celebrities. So I really never had like, oh, well, when I grow up, I want to be this or want to be that. It wasn't like that. It was just like, I feel like I was living my passion every day through what I was doing. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, oh, I want to do this or want to do that. I loved so much what I was doing every day because I was training every day. I was dancing every day. That to me was the dream job. And of course, everything that happened after that, moving here and having the opportunity to work with all these celebrities and doing movies and commercials and tours. And that just added to everything else that I already been doing. And of course, it was like amazing. I was never like, I want to do this or I want to do that. So just live your life through your passion. That's the best recommendation I can give you.
I love it. That's the Latino side of you, the passion. You got to have.
Yes. It's funny because, I feel like this is something that people get asked a lot. Where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? This is a question that you get asked a lot. And it's funny because I hated that question. I hated when people ask me that because I felt like I was doing what I love to do every day of my life. You know what I mean? And of course, you enhance it as you go. You enhance it as you go. and you like, okay, maybe I'll go for this instead of that. But you're still like, working through that same path, that same passion. And it wasn't like, to me, like, I feel like I've always done what I wanted to do.
That's beautiful, though.
Yes.
It's like you're enjoying the present and
Exactly.
not so worried about the what if and the future and actually being in the moment, which I think there's a lot of beauty in that, because we're always looking for the next big thing instead of just appreciating what we have.
And I just feel like through living through that passion, things were coming to me. And, now this job came up. Oh, now this came up. Now this came up. So that's why I always had the trust in this process that I was, because it was, first of all, done through love and passion. And I think anything that you do through passion and love,
Can't go wrong.
no,
Yes, I'm sure you attracted that energy too. People
100%.
they felt it from you, so they wanted you to be a part of their ecosystem and hire you for jobs. So yeah, it becomes a magnetic thing. I can totally relate. Well, thank you so much, Ali. Next up, we have Maya.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Come
Of
on,
course.
introduce yourself and what is your question?
Hi, my name is Maya Say. I'm from Denver, Colorado. I know that you mentioned that you were able to get a lot of gigs straight away due to your connections, but I was just wondering, when it comes to auditioning, what do you think makes a dancer stand out from the rest? What do you think that someone is really looking for when it comes to like bookings?
Okay. So that's a very good question, because the first thing is that every dancer needs to be doing their homework. And what's that homework? Preparation, classes, I don't know what you guys audition for, if it's just dancing, if there's acting involved. So anything that has to do with the whole area of expertise that you need to book auditions, because sometimes, they need an actor that can dance, or they need a dancer that can act too. So you have to prepare. So that's the main thing. That's like just going to school. This is your career. You want to do this. So you got to prepare as much as you can. Also, something that I feel that it's very important when you stand in front of people for audition is, first of all, show them that you're prepared. Show them that you're professional. Show them that you have what it takes, not only as far as the talent, but also your presence. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say with this, because it's not just like how high your leg can go, but it's also how you show up, how you carry yourself, that is going to make you stand out. Because as I always I can repeat this enough. We're in a business that is very, very competitive. There is thousands of kids out there that want to do the same thing that you're doing. So what is going to stand you, apart from everybody else? Make sure that also you take care of yourself, you're present, because that's the first impression. I now feel like I see so many dancers that show up. For example, when I choreograph certain things, or like a music video or whatever. I worked for a Spanish television station for many years, and I was the choreographer, so I was constantly working with dancers. And it just, even now, like, it drives me crazy that I go to a rehearsal or, an audition, and people are not well put together. I don't know, Menina, you know this from back then. Like, you have to look the part.
Yes, you have to.
You always have to be camera ready. I don't care what it is. And that doesn't mean that you have to put like full on makeup and all that, but your hairs have to be nice. You have to have a little makeup. You have to have an outfit that represents yourself, not something where you look all raggedy. And so you always have to be camera ready. I always say that to me, because that's the first impression that you're giving these people that are seeing you. So, remember back in the day, the typecasting, like 500 kids auditioning, they will line you up 10 by 10 in a line. And they're like,
yes,
you stay,
no,
you go,
yes,
you
no.
stay. Yeah. And why is that? What was that? Like, they didn't even see you dance yet. It was just from your looks, just your looks. So you have no idea how important it is showing up, looking the part. You gotta sell the part. People have to buy the you and the part. So here we want her because she is the part. So get that. It's so important.
Absolutely. It's so funny that you say typecast. I haven't even heard that word in so long.
I know, like
These kids don't even know. Like, so dancers, if you don't know what typecast
how cruel was that?
It is very cruel when you think about it, where you get ready, you spend the last couple hours getting ready. Maybe you drove all the way across town. You have your headshot, your resume, you're ready to go. You step into the room. There's hundreds of people and there's too many people to audition. They can't see all of you. So they line you up in rows and they literally like, yes, no, please stay. Thank you. Please stay. Thank you. And you didn't even get a chance to dance. And you got cut just from the way you look. That happened to me. I mean, so many times, but the Britney Spears tour audition, I'll never forget that. Hundreds, like at least 700 around the block from around the world. They didn't have time to see 700 dancers. They just lined up and said, yes, please stay. Thank you. Please stay. Luckily, I was a please stay and I stayed to the end. But geez, could you imagine how many? There's probably some good dancers they cut.
Yeah. I always tell people, and I use this for live. I'm like, camera, are you camera ready? I don't walk out of my house without being camera ready because you never know who's going to be out there saying, oh, I need you for this gig. You know, so
you never know who you're going to meet.
Unfortunately, we're in a business where it's a lot about how you look. And of course, the time plays a huge role, but always make sure that you're looking the part. I can say that enough.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You live by that because I've never seen you sloppy ever. Like you're always.
Oh, no. And I tell Kylie the same. I'm like, are you? Because kids now are a little more like, I'm like,
casual.
Kylie, just a little bit of makeup. Ah, mom. You know, but that's also the Latin side of me too. You know, because my mom wasn't a dancer or anything. And if I went out and I didn't have a little bit of makeup, she's, are you gonna go out like that? Like she would say I was doing something really bad. Are you gonna go out like this? I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. Okay, is it better? Okay. And then
maybe that's why Miss Venezuela always is one of the most beautiful girls in every of those world pageants.
I don't know. Maybe there's something to do with that.
I always remember Miss Venezuela was always pretty. She was always a pretty girl. So I guess it's a cultural thing.
No, it is definitely.
That's so funny. Well, thank you.
The thing is that Kylie has kind of like both. She has a little bit of the Latina thing, but also very laid back.
She's still put together. Even her
no, 100%
is still put together, and all her social media stuff.
Oh no. She definitely pays a lot of attention to that. Yeah,
totally. All right. Well, thank you, Maya. Next up, we have Shannon.
Hi, my name is Shannon. I'm based in New Jersey / New York City. And it's funny you talk about typecasting. They do that all the time here still. I audition for Disney a lot. Especially for Disney. I know they're looking for something very specific, but they will line you up and go right to the line.
How's your experience with that?
I have had some luck with that personally for Disney, but then for other theater things, sometimes they're looking for just something different that I'm not. And I've been typecast out, but I typically have a good time with Disney. So I'm crossing my fingers for making that happen as well. My question for you is, you talked a little bit about your busy schedules on tour. And I was wondering if you have any advice for balancing, like embracing those experiences, maybe bonding with your cast or people you're traveling with, but also having that time to yourself, that recovery time, that sense of self while you're performing so many shows on such a rigorous schedule, a little bit of that balance.
Great question. I mean, it's really, really, and I see it more now with Kylie more than I saw it with myself, because during the tour, you know, I was with other dancers, and a lot of the times, you know, when you get into, of course, you have your own bunk in the tour bus or whatever, but when you get to the hotel, we were sharing rooms. You know, there was like 2 dancers per room. I mean, Kylie has the luxury that she has her own room every time, whenever they checked into a hotel or whatever. But I mean, for myself, during my tour times, it was really hard to get that alone time, which I definitely can appreciate. I love sometimes having some alone time where I don't see anybody, I don't hear anything. I love that. Of course, it was fun to be with my roommates, and, you know, but it's like you are with these people 24/7. You know, so it's like sometimes you can't get away. But I think for me, it's important to have that time, even if it's just, I mean, you can't avoid it because you're in the room with somebody else. But if you're not, like I see now Kylie, because Kylie is the same way. Kylie's like, Mom, sometimes I need to be by myself. Because I was asking her this question. I was, Kylie, because her dad and I have been kind of taking turns going with her. So there was a time where she didn't have any of us, not her dad, no me, because we're both in LA. I was like, how does that feel for you? Because there's always one of us with her, always, So I was like, okay, how does it feel for you to be? And she's like, I loved it. I love it. I'm like, really? And she's yeah, I love the independency. I love to just be able to. She is very spiritual and like myself, and she likes to do meditations and all that kind of stuff. So she definitely takes a lot of time, watching YouTube videos of like, just all kinds of spiritual stuff and meditation and things that will help her grow and evolve internally. So I would always recommend, because when you're out there and like you're saying, it's so crazy, it's so hectic, that it's important to also, because like you also said it, meaning like you don't know where you are anymore because everything looks the same, everything blends together. So I feel like it's important to have that groundness to, okay, I'm doing all this, but I'm still me. And I still need that time to just kind of like recharge and recover, because that takes so much energy from you, to be constantly like, I was just talking to Kylie because it's crazy how much Disney is making these kids work. They get to the venue at 2 p.m. They get picked up at 2 p.m. They usually stay very close to the venue. So they get picked up at 2 p.m. They go to the venue, immediately go into hair and makeup. So it's not like, oh, let's just chill or let's hang out. No, immediately everybody goes into hair and makeup. Once they finish with the hair and makeup, is the VIP meet and greet. So they have to just they're not in costumes, but they have their camera ready.
Yeah.
So they're just there and they have to sing for the VIP a little bit, and they do Q&A. They also do questions. And once they finish that, that's like a full hour. So they already spend 2 hours in hair and makeup. Then they do a full hour doing the meet and greet. Then they have a little bit of time to go eat and maybe sometimes Kylie takes a 20-minute nap. And then from there, it's getting to costumes and the show starts. And that show, it's like almost 3 hours long. So imagine, it's like there's no time for anything, no time. So I will always recommend, if you do have your time, if you have your own room, always find a little time where you can, especially if you like meditating and all that, just find a corner where you can sit alone and kind of recharge and just talk to yourself and be like, this is a great experience. I gratefully take it. This is amazing. How can it be any better? Show me, universe, show me how it can be any better, so you continue attracting and manifesting this type of energy and the work and all that. But also take the time to be grateful and continue manifesting that.
Thank you so much.
That's really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. And next up, I have to bring Nina up.
Hi, my name is Nina. I am 16 and I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. What was it like auditioning for all of those really huge tours, especially like Paul McCartney and all of that? Just what was it like auditioning for all of that?
Well, first of all, it's like nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking because, you're like, I don't know how you feel, Nina, but at least for me, anytime to went to an audition, I'm going there because I want to book this job. I'm not there just to see what happens. I want to go there because I want to book this gig. So it is very nerve-wracking. And of course, I used to get nervous all the time. I still get nervous when I perform at the beginning and then it goes away. But, to me, it's like I've been saying, if you have the preparation, if you know that you took your time to do the homework that you needed to do, and you're looking the part and all that, all you have to do is let the universe do the rest. Prepare yourself, look the part, and let the universe do the rest. If that job is for you, it'll be for you. And that's always how I kind of managed to go through this business without all the disappointments when you don't book an audition. I always say, if this job is for me, it'll be for me. If it's not, good luck to whoever gets it, and I'll be ready for the next one. So you always have to come in doing your best, the best you can, but know that if it doesn't happen, there's a reason why. There's a reason why, and be at peace and accept that, because that's the only way you can manage to go through this business that is so harsh and be successful and have a long career.
Absolutely. And I don't know about you, but I always felt like when I was detached from the outcome, that's when things came to me. The job
Exactly.
I really, really wanted, sometimes I didn't get, but like, I remember Earth, Wind and Fire tour auditions. They were looking for one girl. There's like over 100 girls in the room. I'm like, I'm getting this. Let's go out for a free class. So I was like, just get free, and I still showed up and was full out and all that. And then they were doing cuts and then cut and then cut. And then there's 3 of us left. And I'm like,
oh my God.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be for real. And I'm like, and the stakes are high. And then they're making us do solos and freestyles and all this stuff after we did rounds of choreography. And then when they said you booked it at the end of the day, and I'm in rehearsals the next day, it was that fast. And I remember that feeling of like, you just never know. Like I had 0 expectations. And that was the one I booked. And then even Luis Miguel, talk about that one. That was a freestyle audition.
That is hilarious.
In a little casting room. I didn't even know who he was. And I'm just like, do whatever, my little thing. And then they're like, oh, a callback. And then you have to go meet with him when the manager and one-on-one, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, sometimes when you emotionally detach.
Yeah, exactly. No, I definitely am with you on that. I'm with you on that. 100%. Because also there's been auditions where you go in and you're like, I killed this audition. And then
you think you got
nothing. And nothing. You don't hear anything. And then there's auditions where you're like, oh my God, I sucked at this audition. And then you get the call.
Yep.
So it's like you never know. Yep. But to me, the main thing is just show up, looking your best, doing the best you can, because at the end of the day, you can leave that audition. Even if you don't book it, you can say, I did my best. I looked my best. And that's what you stay with. Maybe the job wasn't for you.
And that's okay. On to the next.
It's okay. It'll be, there will be another one.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Nina. Next up, we have Jade.
Hello, I'm Jade Robinson. I'm 20 years old. I'm a dancer, model, actress, and aspiring voiceover artist. And my question for you is, what was the hardest part of your career and how did you overcome it?
I think the hardest part probably will be that same thing that we're talking about when you go into an audition, just like hoping that you're going to get the job and hoping, because that's all you can do, just hope that you get it. And then you don't, because I don't know for Menina, I don't know if you felt the same way, but when you're younger, you're like, oh, I don't know when the next audition is going to be. And this is just here. And then I have the opportunity to book something. And then I didn't, and it goes away. And you don't know when the next one
will come.
It's going to be. And then you feel that, that opportunity just left, but it takes time and experience to know that it'll be another opportunity to do that. But I feel it was that like and especially the waiting. I don't know for you, but when you go to the audition and then you wait.
And then you're like, okay, have they booked yet? And you call your agent, have they booked yet? Have they booked yet?
Oh my God, that's the worst. Worst. We used to oh my God, and you're looking at your phone all the time and your emails and all that. That is just drive anybody insane, until you finally either hear that you booked it or you didn't. And then it's okay, happy if I did and just disappointed if you didn't. But you learn in this business how to deal with that. And I feel like I said again, like I can't say it enough. And also, as you said it, just, do the best you can. And if it doesn't happen, it'll come at some point.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jade, for your question.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Haley. Introduce yourself and what is your question?
Hi, I'm Haley and I'm from Houston, Texas. My question is, who are your biggest mentors and inspirations?
Good question. I would say I have my gymnastic coach. She was like a second mom to me. I spent so much time with her, and I feel like she probably lived through so much with me, in my competitive years more than my own mom. So she was always there encouraging me and, like just giving me that strength and the support that I needed to. Because like I said, in my family, yeah, my mom encouraged me to go into dancing when I was very young, but she didn't have the understanding of what it was to be a dancer because she was not a dancer. My coach, on the other hand, she knew about that. She used to be a gymnast as well. And we traveled together so much. So she was definitely part of my huge support system. And yeah, I'm like so lucky. I'm still in contact with her. She teaches fitness and she's 60 something years old. She's still at it. So it's good that she's always been there for me. And the bond that we have is, like I said, it's like another mom for me. So I'm so grateful to continue having her in my life like she was when I was little. And I'm trying to be that for Kylie too. So, because sometimes it can be hard, being a mom and also that mentor. But, I have letters from Kylie when she was in school, when she was still doing normal school, because she didn't do that very long, where she had to do like a homework about who was her mentor and all that. And she put like, my mom is, I can always remember that with so much. She was like, what, like 8 or 9 or something like that. So for her to write something like that, it touched me and it stayed with me. So, whoever you have that can be that for you, use it, because support is very important in this career. This is not something that you can just go through alone and that's it. I mean, you could, but it's a little challenging. So if you have somebody, whether it's your dance teacher, whoever it is, just really, use that.
I don't think anybody succeeds alone. I think it takes a village, just like raising a child and being successful.
Exactly.
Support.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Haley. Next up, we
Thank
have
you.
Kendra. Go ahead, Kendra.
Hi, I'm Kendra, and I'm from Azusa, California. And when you said the rage, did you mean like the rage complex?
Yeah, the rage. Complex. The studio with Vida and what's her daughter's name?
Miss Tiffany is her daughter. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. That was your question. All right. Well, thank you. All right. Next up, we have Raylyn.
Hi, I'm Raylyn, and my question for you is, what do you think would help dancers the best in auditions? What would you expect from them? Like their technique, how they act?
I mean, like I said before, it's a combination of different things. It's like we talked about, first of all, your skills, that you're well trained and that you're taking your classes all the time and you're well prepared. Also the way you look and how respectful you are in the room. And also that you act with confidence, because I feel like a lot of the times, at least my experience when I used to go into these big auditions where there's so many people around you, where you make yourself notice, like you want to be in the front. You don't want to hide in the back, because I feel that a lot of people weren't really comfortable with the choreography or whatever, and they would just kind of hide in the back. You're never going to book a job that way. You always go to the front and show yourself and show that confidence. And I think that's a big, big, big tool for you to book auditions. Don't be shy. Don't hide in the back.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we got Genesis.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. I'm 9 years old. And my question for you is, did Kylie ever do competitions?
Yes, she did. Definitely. She did a lot of the competitions that, a lot of you guys do. And I remember she had a duet with another girl that they won a lot of awards for that duet. And it was from the Rage Complex, from that studio. So yeah, she did. She did. And I mean, she enjoyed it. But once that part of her career was done, she was happy, because there's definitely a lot of tension.
Thank you so much, Genesis. Next up, we have Sydney.
Hi, I'm Sydney. My question was, what would your advice be to prepare and clear your mind mentally before an audition?
Very good question, because I feel like a lot of people don't do that. But that was one of the things that I will always talk to Kylie about. That was the technique that I used. For example, right before you go on the dance floor or whatever audition, just, take some deep breaths, visualize yourself already booking that job, visualize yourself getting that job. I'm a big believer of manifestation and attracting that energy. When you start thinking that you already have it, I feel like that's a way to really attract that. So I will always do breathing exercises because, you can get a little nervous. And the way I will calm my nerves down will be like through breathing. So definitely that, like in a corner before you go, you can just do your breathing. Like I said, important to do these visualizations where you already see yourself getting that job. So that's my technique. That's what I do.
Okay, thank you so much.
And last question, Maricia and Lucian.
Hi, my name is Maricia. I am 12 years old. And my question for you is, what do you do in your spare time? Do you still dance for fun? Do you still have passion for it?
Oh, honey, she dances every day.
I'm dancing every day, because, not only the main thing that I do for dancing is partnering dancing, like ballroom dancing. I've been training everything, but that has been what I've been doing for the past 20 years. I also teach fitness through dance. So I'm dancing all the time. So if I have a little bit of time off, I just want to be home chilling and relaxing because I dance too much.
You're still going. I look at your socials and I'm like, this woman can dancers. If you haven't looked at her socials, you got to see her dance. Like you do things that these kids can't even do. And you're a mom and you're not exactly 12 anymore.
Kylie tells me that all the time. I just can't believe how you do all these crazy lifts. But like I said, because
flexibility is still there. And that's really impressive. Not only for your age, but also being a mother, because the body changes after birth. And the fact that you've maintained is really impressive. I have to give you props for that.
Thank you. It's a lot of work. The stretching, the weights, the gym, tons.
Well, and it shows your physique is still in tip-top shape, and it's truly, truly impressive and remarkable. And as you said earlier, so many of our peers have moved on to doing different things and they don't dance anymore, and you're still in it. You're still doing it. So clearly it's your passion.
Thank God.
It's not going away anywhere. As long as
No, it's not. It's not.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Maricia, for your question. All right. So final words. Any final words of advice or anything that you want to say or share that you haven't shared?
Girls, guys, whoever's watching, just like I said to me, just live your life every day through that passion. And if it's dance, it's sing and whatever it is, just live it fully. Because at the end of the day, it's not where you need to go. It's the process to get there. What? Enhance your life. So that's the best advice I can give you. Enjoy everything that you do every day. Your classes, your training, everything. Just do it with love and passion. And trust me, you'll succeed.
Well, on that note, with the love and the passion, dancers, show her how we do it. Let's give our virtual love.
Thank you guys
for spending your time with us, to be, sharing your journey and your experiences as a dancer, as a choreographer, as a dance mom, and doing all the things. And I'm so, so glad that we reconnected. And I hope
yes, me too.
You don't have to wait 20 years again.
No, definitely not.
Thank you so much, Carol.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. And what is your handle really quick so the dancers can send you gratitude messages and tag you and all fun things?
It's Carol with a C, CAROLJ as in July, Borjas, B as in boy, ORJAS. So Carol J. Borjas.
Love it. Carol, and you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Love you. Take care. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And that concludes another episode of the Business of Dance podcast. podcast.
We hope you found today's conversation insightful and gained valuable knowledge.
Be sure to join us next time for more inspiring interviews with top professionals in the dance industry.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to The Business of Dance on your favorite platform and take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback is greatly appreciated.
This podcast is brought to you by the Business of Dance online mentorship program to help aspiring professional dancers create their dream dance careers.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.